After having made 3 Balkan Tech Tree videos, I, and some of you viewers, realized that I had missed a few vehicles. So today, I'm going to show you the new additions and the changes to the Balkan ground tree, and in the next video, the air tree. Anyways, I'll start with the small changes, and I'll try to keep it under a minute so we can get to the vehicles, because there are a lot of them. The L6 switched places with the L3, and the L6 is now reserve. The Peugeot armored car for Yugoslavia got down-tiered to 1.0 instead of 1.3. Same with the Bulgarian Vickers Mark E, plus that is now 1.7. The Yugoslav BTR-60 is now at 1.7 instead of 2.3, and the Bulgarian Panzer IV-G Su-76 hybrid is 3.3 instead of 4.0. Next, the Yugoslav M47 Patton and BVPM 80AB1, as well as the Greek Lynx and VBCI, all got moved to folders, as you'll see later. Lastly, the Yugoslav 2S1 became a premium, as there isn't a big enough difference between that one and the Croatian one. So yeah, that was every important change, except for the new vehicles. Do note that these are not the final BRs, as that would be Gajan's job to do if it does get implemented. For now, they are only approximate. Enough about that, let's check the new vehicles, starting with Bosnia. The first new vehicle is a domestic hybrid known as the M18 T54 or 55. A hybrid with a T54 or 55 hull, but with an M18 turret. Placing the approximate BR on this thing was really hard, as the hull on the T54s are good hulls. At the same time, the turret on the M18 is also good, but without its fast mobility, it isn't. So I think 5.7 is a fitting BR, since it would act kind of the same as a standard T35-85. Anyways, the history behind this vehicle is like other ex-Yugoslav vehicles, vague and almost unavailable, but there are a few pictures. Next for Bosnia would be the AML-90. I actually added it in the previous tech tree, but forgot to mention it. Bosnia got 31 French AML-90s from the UAE. The AML-90 is a light and very fast vehicle with a quite powerful gun, a beast in the right hands. The next and final new vehicle is another domestic setup located in the M77 folder. And this might be the most Balkan vehicle you've ever heard of. A UAZ 469 car with rocket pods mounted on the back. Now, it's hard to identify what kind of rocket pods were used, but I can imagine that these are taken from either helicopters or planes, meaning that they should have a pretty high effectiveness facing tanks. Now, let's take a quick look at Slovenia. Slovenia would actually bring more new vehicles than you might think. The first vehicle is the Oshkosh Mangart 25, an American armored car with a Slovenian turret with a 25mm autocannon. Now, you might wonder why this vehicle that is marked as a light vehicle is located in the anti-air subtree. And that is because it is a multi-purpose vehicle mainly used to fight aircraft and more specifically drones. So it's a combat-capable anti-aircraft vehicle, war thunder-wise. The next new Slovenian vehicle is the M1152 Humvee with a Spike LR system developed by Slovenia. It also carries a Browning 50 cal. It would basically be a very fast missile carrier in-game. The unit is located in the Bradley folder. Next is the last new vehicle for Slovenia, the M84 TFCS3. Most importantly, features upgraded thermals and overall optics. A new takeover system, that means that command and controls easier can be switched or flipped in the event of crew members becoming unconscious, which actually would be very good in-game. Additionally, the fire control systems also got upgraded, a very good upgrade for the M84. Now I wanted to add it as a premium since it was an in-service showcase vehicle, but I don't really believe in hiding the gems behind a paywall. So I'm having difficulties deciding, so I'm gonna let you decide in my Discord where I've allocated a space for the tech trees where you can vote. Should it be a premium? Or should it be another unique tech tree vehicle? Or should you add it as a tech tree premium duplicate despite the fact that it was a showcase vehicle? Vote! Enough yapping about Slovenia. Let's check out Croatia now. The first new vehicle is another very Balkan vehicle, a Yugoslav Zastava 750 car with a Croatian BT 82 M60 recoilless 82mm anti-tank gun mounted in the middle. It would have a road top speed of 110 kilometers an hour. The only bad thing with this vehicle, besides the non-existent armor, is that the reload speed of this gun would be 15 seconds. That's a lot for such a small vehicle. Thus the low BR of 6.3. But fun vehicle nonetheless. Next is another vehicle I didn't really talk about much, and that is a vehicle in the M77 folder. The M96 Typhoon. It's an upgraded rocket artillery system based on the M77 with 122mm rockets and additional stowage. Next up is a homegrown combat vehicle, the Izvor, a domestic Croatian armored vehicle carrying a very unique mix of armaments. The primary weapon is a 120mm M75 mortar. The problem lies in the name. It's a mortar, designed to fire indirectly, which means a maximum depression of plus 45 degrees. In other words, you can't fire at tanks directly with the mortar. But what it also has are 4 Maljutka launchers, which means that this thing would act as a missile carrier in War Thunder. Additionally, it also has a roof-mounted 50 cal. In conclusion, a cool-looking vehicle that would act as a missile carrier. The final vehicle is another domestic design, a really crazy one that I thought of adding as a squadron first, but it was too cool and too niche to be one. This is the POV M95 Cobra, a tank destroyer and recon vehicle with a turret that can be raised 14 meters up in the air, allowing it to hide behind cover and fire at enemies with an anti-tank guided missile. Now this will be hard to balance, but a cool vehicle located in the M2A2 folder. That was all for Croatia. Let's check what Serbia shall receive. The first new vehicle Serbia receives is the Yugo Import Miloš II. It's a multi-role armored tactical 4x4 with the same 20mm turret as the latest versions of the M80 IFV. No ATGMs, though. After that is the M09105mm, a howitzer mounted on a truck carrying a 50 caliber, a good equivalent to the Band Cannon, or the 2S1. Next is the Nora B52M03. It's a huge self-propelled artillery piece with a 155mm cannon with a reload rate of around 4 to 12 rounds per minute. All sources are different. It also carries a 50 cal and improved armor compared to other B52 variants. And when it comes to depression, it has around the same as the T-34s. That is 5 degrees. However, I think you theoretically could use the outriggers on the sides to improve the depression. Next is another Serbian Yugo import vehicle, the Lazansky 8x8 with a 57mm autocannon with a reload rate of less than a second. It also features different types of ammunition, including armor-piercing and high explosive. Next in the folder is the BTR-50S, a modernized BTR-50 with new equipment, including up to 4 Maljutkas, of which 2 are ready to fire. Notably, it has a pretty slow top speed of just over 50 kph, but its missiles, along with its autocannon with up to 60 to 80 millimeters of pen, compensate for its lack of mobility. Next is a vehicle that does what the BTR doesn't, the Miloš II. It's the same Miloš as earlier, but now with Maljutkas. The exact same vehicle, but new armament and BR just to balance. The last MBT Serbia would bring is the M84AS1. It's essentially the same performance-wise as the M84AS2, but features a slightly different turret and a bit less tech. But the difference is small enough to not change the BR. The last new vehicle Serbia would bring is the Harpus, a modern new anti-aircraft system which features search and track radars, up to 4 anti-aircraft missiles, 2 40mm Bofors cannons, which can use both armor-piercing, proxy, and regular HE rounds. A very capable anti-aircraft system that could be used even against tanks in-game. Now to Greece and Cyprus, which have both received plenty of new additions. Starting with Greece, we have the M41 Walker Bulldog, an American light tank with good mobility and an additional 50 cal. The next new vehicle is the Leopard 1A3, which Greece operated a good amount of. It's pretty much your regular Leo 1. In the same folder, we find the M901, which is a Wally-Ah missile carrier that can also be found in the American tech tree as a squadron. And if we take a quick look at the premium subtree, you can see that I've added another Panzer Haubitze, more specifically, the Greek one. Next up is the AMX-30 for Cyprus. Your regular AMX-30, but Cypriot and premium. Speaking of Cypriot, next up is the BMP-3 Standard Edition. Your regular BMP-3, but from Cyprus, featuring 2 autocannons, one 100mm and one 30mm, a terrific light vehicle. For the next vehicle, we have to go back to Greece, as the vehicle in question is the Leopard 1A5HEL Upgrade Package. It was a suggestion to upgrade the aging Leopard 1s with new armor, ATGMs, FCS and GCS, RWS, thermals, ERA, new engine, and a new digital suite. A really damn good upgrade that will bring the Leo 1 up to 10.3. Next is the Leonidas 2. Also Greek, of course. This very Leonidas 2 carries a 40mm autocannon and would kinda work like a STRF-90 or maybe even the 2S-38, but a bit worse. I also added the Leo 2A4HEL Plus, which is another good Greek upgrade, which gave the 2A4 ERA armor and, I think, better thermals. I also added the Leo 2A7, just to show what they will have in the future. The T-80U from Cyprus has also been added as a premium. The last vehicle for Greece would be the BMP-1A-1OST, a Greek-modified BMP featuring anti-aircraft guns instead of the normal turret, giving the tree another good anti-air. Before we go over to the final nation, I just want to say that the Greek T-3485 also exists as a premium, just that I forgot to mention it in the last tank video. Now, the final nation, Bulgaria. The first new vehicle Bulgaria would bring is the T-34/62, a really unique hybrid vehicle that featured a T-34 hull and a T-62 turret. This in-game would work kinda like a Type 62, but with even less armor. And for you all who do not know the Type 62, it's basically a T-54, but with much less armor. But yes, still a capable tank, I believe. The next new vehicle is the BMP-30 in the folder of the BMP-23D. It's a version of the BMP-23, but with a 30mm turret taken from the BMP-2 and with worse missiles. Still about as good as the BMP-23, though. The next vehicle is another BMP, the BMP-23 Premium. This is basically the standard BMP-23, but unlike the BMP-23D, it carries a slightly worse missile, the same as the BMP-30 does. That was actually every new vehicle of the Balkan ground tree. If you think I missed anything, please reach out to me on my Discord server, and don't forget to vote. Also, stay tuned for the aviation update for the Balkan tech tree. There are more vehicles coming. I also want to say thanks to the developer of the Tech Tree Maker. You can find a link to it in the description, and also a big thanks to the Tank Encyclopedia, which I've also linked below. They are amazing when it comes to illustrations and research. Thank you. With that said, thanks for watching. God bless.